Okay, we're here with another Ikoria draft. Traditional, so that means it's best of three, but unranked. So pack one, pick one. Yorion is our rare. Companion, your starting deck contains at least 20 cards more than the minimum deck size. So for limited, that means you have to play a 60 card deck. Now, that sounds kind of difficult, and it is a little bit, but it's not impossible. But Yorion's also just very good, even if we don't companion him. So we're going to pack one, pick one, and kind of see where we go from there. And I always just like to look, see if it's anyone I know. And we're just gonna grab this Yorion as these packs are starting to pile up here. So, pick two. So some things to look at. Titan's Nest is the rare left in the pack. I would say generally not very playable of a rare. It basically gives you Surveil on your upkeep, and then all of your spells have Delve. Which for 4 mana is just not a lot of impact when you play it. All the uncommons are in the pack, but these are all pretty bad uncommons. So that brings us to the commons. Um, Here we have a couple choices. I think I'm going to take the Day Squad Marshal. It has a really good interaction with Yorion. And it's also just very good if we want to get into humans. I think the only other thing I would really think about taking after that is either the Cavern Whisperer or the Glimmerbell. Marmoset's good for the cycling deck, but I don't want to take a payoff that doesn't have cycling first. So I'm going to take the Day Squad Marshal, and I'm pretty medium about this pick. Okay, so we're seeing a little bit more here. So we have the two uncommons left are Blitz of the Thunder Raptor and Raugrin Crystal. And that basically leaves us with the rest of this. We're going to take probably Essence Scatter as the best blue card in the pack, and I think blue's best uncommon. Vantasaur is also an option just because it has cycling 1, so if you are trying to go for that 60 card deck, it's pretty free as a playable. But I'm going to take Essence Scatter as the best card in the pack to me. Okay. So we have some things here. So what I think I want to take here is we're seeing both the Insatiable Hemophage, which is a pretty good mutate creature, and Ram Through, which is pretty good removal. And then there's a Farfinder. So I think what I want to do is I want to take the Farfinder. It kind of allows us to delay the decision about where we want to be, and it's generally pretty playable, no matter what, especially if we are playing this Yorion 60 card deck. And I just don't think either of these cards are quite good enough to jump ship. And this is just going to make almost any deck we play. Okay, so now I think Heartless Act is a premium removal spell, and we can feel pretty confident that black is going to be somewhat open. So we don't know where we're going with that. We also have Deadweight in the pack, which is very good. But I'm going to take this Heartless Act as it's a very good just black card. Okay. So maybe we'd be black-white humans, seeing this Night Squad Commando. I like Night Squad Commando a lot. Once again, plays well with Yorion. We already have the Day Squad Marshal. You really want to see those uncommon payoffs. After that, if you want to get into the cycling deck, which we've seen a couple decent non-cycling payoffs, and by non-cycling, I mean they do not cycle themselves. But we haven't seen any of the Stingers or Valiant Rescuers or even a Zenith Flare, which is your like S tier uncommon for the deck. After that, I'd probably take Facet Reader and then Evolving Wild, but I'm going to take the Commando. Okay, so I feel really good right now knowing that we got this General's Enforcer. Tells me that white-black humans is probably open. And so we probably will not be playing Yorion as our companion, but we'll still play it as it just has very good interaction, as I keep saying. And so we're really hoping that we can see one of those uncommons for white-black. So either a Bastion of Remembrance or Sanctuary Lockdown at some point. We're going to take Divine Arrow. It's just good removal. Okay. So Lurking Deadeye is the human in the pack. But I think durable coil bug is a little bit better. And having that recurable two drop is very good, especially because this deck really likes to pick up mutual sacrifices, which causes you to stack a creature and your opponent to you destroy one of your opponent's creatures. So I'm going to take the first coil bug over the first Deadeye. So here we don't have a lot of great things. Will of the All Hunter is okay. We'll probably take it just because it's a little bit more of a unique effect. And you can pick up Light of Hopes very late, and we want one for the sideboard as enchantment removal, but we're not too enthralled by it. And we're also going to move this Essence Scatter out. Pretty easy to say that. We might play Farfinder. I said it goes in almost anything, and it's a very easy 24th card. So we're stuck between these two, our Cycling 1 and our Cycling 2. I'm going to take the Cycling 2 because I think it's more playable for our deck, and you want at least one, but now I'm remembering we did see one after this, so we're going to take the Vantasaur. Garrison Cat's okay, not the best. Perimeter Sergeant, great pickup, 3-drop. Buffs all your humans when you attack, so that's great. The Menace, Payoff, Sorcery, and Spontaneous Flight. Can be good against other big decks. So, we have Obosh. So, looking at this, Obosh is our... We'd have to cut all of our 2-drops, which kind of makes it really hard on the humans deck. So we might not be playing Obosh as a companion, but I think just picking up Obosh as a 5-mana 6/5 is perfectly fine. After Obosh, the thing we're interested in the most is probably another Day Squad Marshal. And then after that, Bushmeat Poacher. But we'll take Obosh as a 5-mana 6/5. Okay, we have basically Blood Curdle versus Heartless Act. So I think I'd rather have the first Blood Curdle over the second Heartless Act. Just as it's a more point removal. This does have some times where it's not going to do what you want to do, but Blood Curdle will almost always do exactly what you need it to do. Wow. So we're going to take one of these removal spells, not sure which, and then hopefully we can wheel the Checkpoint or the Scoured Barrens at least. I think I'm going to take another Blood Curdle. It does make your mana base a little bit worse, but, or not your mana base, your mana curve than Heartless, but maybe I do take the second Heartless Act. It's tough to say. I'm going to take the Blood Curdle. I think it just does what you want a little bit more often. So we're feeling pretty set on removal here. Here we have a Tri-Land, and it's 2 of our colors. And it's even a 3rd color for Obosh, if that could ever matter. So we're probably just going to take the Triome. There's not a lot we want here. There's no humans. The best card is probably the Glider as just a 2-mana, or a 3-mana 2/2 flyer. Okay. So we're not seeing as many humans as we would have wanted. Unbreakable Bond's a good card, one of my favorites in the set, but not where we are. So we're going to take this Tiger. It's a 5-mana 3/4 flyer that can pump some of your humans. Okay, so I do feel like we are open. So we saw that Day Squad Marshal in our first pack, which makes me believe that there's a decent chance we wheel it if we're seeing one pick 6. And instead, I really like Fight as 1. I think it's a very strong trick, because this deck does end up playing usually some amount of non-human creatures, just like durable coil bugs or tigers, or just our 2 companions. And so I think this is a very strong trick. Well then, we could take Offspring's Revenge. We do have some things that we do want to get back. We have the Commandos, we have our Tiger, our Marshal, even the Garrison Cat. I think I can be persuaded to take this, and that's kind of where our deck is. Otherwise, our choice is Mentor, but we don't have a lot of great things for that. Pacifism is just great removal. Our deck is A+ on removal. Hopefully we can get hooked up a little bit better on... There we go, getting that Marshal back. So this plays great with... let's see here. Probably want the Blade banish, but I'm not going to main deck it. So now our Triome also fixes um, for our Offspring's Revenge. So Checkpoint Officer, really good. Really good too with Revenge, because you don't need it to have an effect. Glider, we can play. Not going to play anything here. So we do want to pick up some fixing for Offspring's Revenge, because for one red card, we're going to want to play about 4 sources. So Farfinder is going to stay in, because it works really well with that. So that's 1, and then this will be 2. Our Triome is 2. So that means we want to try to find 2 more. So what do we have here for us? Not a lot, unfortunately. Kinnan is a mythic who I think is really good. Seeing it with Parcel Beast is pretty sad if you're in this color, because they're both so good. Otherwise, we have Imposing Vantasaurus, just a 1-mana cycler, which you can cycle and then get back. That's not the most exciting with Offspring Revenge. Maybe we take a Blitzleech, which goes great with Yorion and our Offspring's Revenge, because we haven't seen any of the human payoffs, really, except for we have 1 Perimeter Sergeant, so we're more of like a kind of go-wide deck. So we might take this Blitzleech and just kind of play into this. In fact, yeah, that's what we're going to do. So once again, no human payoffs, unfortunately. Storm and Capador is good. Combos with Divine Arrow for a make your own, 5/7. So we're probably going to take that as just a 3-mana 1/3 flyer with some upside. Yep, that's what it's going to be. Okay. So I think we're going to take the Commando. We're really good on removal, even though Mutual Destruction is a very good spell for this deck. We have 2 Blood Curdles, we have the Heartless Act, we have a Pacifism, we have a Divine Arrow. So we're pretty good on removal. And I think I just want more creatures at this point, especially creatures that are going to work with our Yorion, with our Offspring, with Obosh. And we're really hoping to wheel this Coordinated Charge. So a little bit late to get on the Whisper Squad train. Kind of wish we had seen that earlier. Otherwise, we could take another Blitzleech, but that's a little bit high. This Weaponize the Monsters is very interesting, and I think I'm going to take it. It's going to make our mana a little bit harder, once again, because we do need to splash these red cards, but we never got a Bastion of Remembrance, and this plus Offspring's Revenge is just a legitimate combo. Wow, so there's our Sanctuary Lockdown. We also want this Bushmeat Poacher, but I think the Sanctuary Lockdown is just too good to not take. Okay. So looking at this, we're probably going to take the Coordinated Charge, another Whisper Squad, so we would have gotten 2 of them. I don't think I would have been okay putting all my eggs into getting Whisper Squads that late in the draft, but we'll take 1 Coordinated Charge. Okay, nothing really here for us. We'll take the sideboard Blade Banish in case we face the big Mutate deck. Another Night Squad Commando, that's a great pickup. Garrison Cat, might play it now that we have to weaponize the monsters. We're definitely going to have to make some cuts here. Nothing here is going to be really playable. Spontaneous Flight, maybe if we play a very grindy matchup and we need to push through some damage. Yeah, we're going to be making quite a few cuts here. Will of the All Hunters, easy to get rid of. Probably some amount of these gliders, storms. Because we got the Sanctuary Lockdown and so many Night Squad Commandos, we're okay leaning a little bit more into our human theme. So we'll be playing basically a human theme that goes wide. Maybe not even playing this Blitzleech. And then Offspring's Revenge is just a good card in our deck with so many things. So many ETB effects. We have at least 5 ETBs. Take a Mutual Destruction. Not against it. We might side it in. Maybe we'll just get 2 Whisper Squads without trying. There's our poacher. Very happy to see that. We wanted at least one of those. So this is never played Unexpected Fangs. Not sure. I'm sure it's fit somewhere. Not really sure where that is, but I'm sure it does. Okay, so let's look at this. So let's just get rid of our mana base for a second. So we need to cut probably 1 card here, and then we'll play the rest. So the question is what? I really like our Weaponize the Monsters Offspring's Revenge package. In fact, we could play Yorion. Looking at it now, so we'd have to play if we put Yorion here. We would have to play 24-ish lands, which means we'd play 36 cards. So checkpoint officer needs to come in. So we'd have to play 11 more cards. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just play 1 spontaneous flight, and that's 11. Maybe that's worth it. All of our cards are not that bad. Maybe that is worth it. Let's see what that deck would look like. So then we play an Unexpected Fangs, Spontaneous Flight, and this is our deck. And then we play 24 lands, and we play 1, and then, oh, that's why it says 3. Obosh is our 3rd. We play 5 mountains. 10 plains. Yeah, I think we could play this as Yorion Companion. I think it doesn't make our deck that much worse than just having a 4/5, and we have so many cards that just kind of like Yorion that having that all the time is great. We can flicker Night Squad Commandos, you can flicker Day Squad Marshals, you can flicker a Blitz Leech. The Tiger is great. Farfinder does really well with it. This is when it dies. So I think this is fine, actually. And our deck has really good removal as it is. So I think that's fine. So that gives us 11 white sources. Put in our mountain. So that gives us 6 red sources. And that gives us 10. So actually that gives us 12 white with the Farfinder, 11 black, and 6 red. I think that's fine. I'm not really sure what the mana base is supposed to look like for a 60-card deck. It's not my specialty. But I would say this is probably fine. You're playing 24 lands, right? So I hope this is fine. We don't have any double cost, which makes this a little bit easier, except for Obosh. But otherwise, everything is single pipped. So that makes our life a little bit easier. Let's look at this one more time. And this is it. So let's take a screenshot of it. And let's go play some games. See how this works. I've never played a deck like this before. I'm very interested to see how we do. This is certainly a pile. Okay, we're in our first match against Valinar. Let's see how it goes. Okay, we're going to choose to play. So I guess this is kind of the problem with this deck. If we draw planes, this hand's pretty good. But I don't think we can just keep it on that, so we're gonna mulligan. I guess we'll keep this. Because at least it has one removal spell. And it can hopefully hold off some pressure. You know, we did mulligan, but it's important to remember that we do have this Yorion. So it's kind of like having a 7th card in your hand. So even though we mulliganed, we're not too far down. So we'll see how that goes. Our opponent's also on white-black on the Boot Nipper. So normally I would be... well, there we go. So we're going to play this Glider. And we're going to give it first strike to block the Boot Nipper. And next turn, if they mutate onto it, we can Blood Curdle it. And then we have, you know, our first strike Menace creature. Okay, checkpoint officer. So we're just going to attack. They can't trade profitably, and if they do try anything, we have removal. And then we're going to play our... Oops, still in combat. Now we'll play our Day Squad Marshal. So the 1/1 token can block the Boot Nipper profitably. And we're still left with a 3/3. So this is still a good board position for us. Our opponent is going to cycle. So this is another situation where now if... Oh, our opponent's also Mardu. With a Tigerilla. So we're gonna... I kind of want to just get a plains here. And I think that's what we're gonna do here. Take action, get a plains. And we could attack. But that doesn't really get us anywhere. We could attack with a 3/3. And then if they block it, we can take Death Touch away. Like if they just go for that trade, we get to take Death Touch away from that with Heartless Act. But if they do go for this 4/3 block here, that's kind of worse for us. And we have Yorion coming down next turn, who's going to be a big advantage for us because we get to flicker our Farfinder, our Marshal, and we're going to flicker the Glider and give it flying, since first strike no longer really matters when they have a 4/3. And once we flicker our Farfinder, we can go get our Mountain, and then we're set on our colors. We're actually in a really good spot. So our deck is doing exactly what we want it to do. Okay, Howlbonder. So let's see how that goes. Pass. My turn. So we're going to make the best use of our mana, and we're going to destroy target creature with no counters on it, and we're just going to destroy that Howlbonder. Things having triple menace is just very scary. And now we're just going to jam our Yorion. Yep. And we're going to flicker all 3 of these. So if you're not aware, flicker means to basically have it leave the battlefield and then come back to the battlefield. So that's when I say, like, we are flickering, that's what we're doing. Okay, our opponent's going to tap that. We're not going to attack. We're going to give it flying this time. Yep. And we're going to take the action, and we're going to go get a Mountain. And I'd say our board position is looking pretty good. We have 2 flying attackers. We're probably going to kill this checkpoint officer so that we can be more aggressive. Or we might next turn actually just play play the Tiger, give this +3/+3, and then it can attack, and they're really forced to start taking damage. So we'll see what our opponent's deciding to do here. They have quite a few choices. They're using a timeout, so I'd say they probably don't have an easy choice, though. Otherwise, they would have just snapped it off. Like, I imagine if they... Oh, they do have the Blood Curdle. I was about to say, I imagine if you have Blood Curdle, you would just use that immediately. Okay, so we're going to play this. So like I said, we are going to play a 3/4. Flyer. Going to give one of our tokens +3/+3. And we're going to move to combat, and we're just going to attack for 5. There is some thought to just attacking with this now, the 3/3, and forcing them to trade the Bootnipper off. But I don't know if that's exactly what I want to do right now, especially when Blood Curdle is still an option. And we can always Blade Banish the Tigerilla if we need to at this point. But right now, I mean, our opponent's taking 5 in the air, unless they keep 2 mana open every turn to Checkpoint Officer. Okay. So they did have the red fight spell. It's the only red fight spell. It's usually pretty contested because it has cycling 1. So it's definitely the kind of thing you can expect to see. But at the end of the day, that was a 2-for-1 trade, where their Death Touch creature, basically fought our 3/4 flyer. And now that we have Blade Banish for the Tigerilla, our opponent, and they didn't get the extra token there, that's kind of rough for them. So let's see. We have 6 mana. So there's no way for us to double spell this turn. So I think we are going to Blood Curdle, actually. And yeah, we're going to Blood Curdle the Tigerilla. And we're going to give this Menace. And we're just going to double attack. And the reason we're doing that is if they want to double block, that's fine, because then we get to kill off one of their creatures, and we can start attacking more profitably. We're really in a situation where we want this game to be over as soon as possible. Yep, so I'm going to kill the Checkpoint Officer. Both of these block and kill anything I have on the board, but the Checkpoint Officer just being done is a lot better for me. Ooh, they're attacking. This makes me believe they have another Night Squad Commando. Yep. So that's a little unfortunate for us when we're trying to push damage. But now he can't tap down our flyer. So imagine this turn he was just tapping down our flyer. We would have done 0 damage. So instead we get to play another flyer. And we get to play a cat. So I feel like we're in a pretty good position. Oh, pacifism. So we're in a little bit worse position. But we're gonna, attack for 2. Play our land and end our turn. So we're gonna, hopefully ride this Heliglider to victory. Ooh, don't highlight it. Oh, why'd you do that to me? Now we're just kind of in a stalemate here. Okay. There's really no point in holding our lands. So whoever can top deck better is going to win. We are sitting on 2 removal spells, so that's not the worst situation to be in. Okay, now that's a big find for us. So we can play this. And now we can kind of just attack with these 2. And then they will trade for anything. Yep, so that'll trade, because this is going to do... well, no, actually, Obosh doesn't do 2 more. Oh, I punted. I was thinking of Torbran, which causes red spells to do 2 more damage. So that's my fault. So we're going to attack. Man, still feeling that punt. And we're going to attack with all, actually? And if they want to kill Obosh, they need to triple block, and then hopefully we can Blood Curdle and blow them out. Otherwise, if they just, chump. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to Blood Curdle it to one of them. And give Obosh Menace. So next turn, Obosh is lethal. Now, we could have gotten blown out by Divine Arrow, but I felt like they didn't have it. After, we had seen them kind of be top decking for a while. So if they had it, they had it. Wow. They had that, though. So that's not great for us. Our opponent is loaded on removal. Okay, we can play Checkpoint Officer. That can help us kind of stop the bleeding for a little bit. So we're just going to chump here. And see what we draw. Hopefully they have a pump effect. Man, remember when I thought we'd have more? Oh, wow. Okay, we're just flooding a little bit. I thought we'd have more targets for this later on. I'm a little bit upset I was wrong. We can't... No attacks. End turn. This is not the best showing after... okay, we got a target. Let's just exile that now. So we're going to tap the flyer. Block. So what does that get us? That doesn't help us at all. So we're just dead. So definitely some misplays on my part. Throwing those tokens away because I thought Obosh worked was definitely a mistake. There's not a lot of sideboarding to be done here. I think we're fine. We did flood a little bit, but I think we can do fine. So we'll see how this goes. Definitely feeling those punts, though. That was definitely a misplay on my part. And we're kind of seeing, I think the Yorion part of our deck went really well. Our opponent did have a lot of removal, same as us. So we'll definitely see how that goes. So we're going to play first again. Once again, we're going to have to mulligan. A little unfortunate. We mulliganed last game too. This is a good hand though. Keep. And what are we going to put? I think we're going to put this Capador on the bottom. Yeah. We didn't really see a lot of damage-based removal from them, and I don't think that 1/3 is going to be as impactful. Although, to say that, we immediately drew the Divine Arrow to combo with it. Okay, our opponent's cycling. I just realized that our opponent cast Clash of the Titan last game, which is a double red card. So that's pretty interesting. We're going to take flying, so that if we top deck a swamp, hopefully we'll have a pretty free attack to play our Night Squad Commando next turn. Okay, our opponent's playing Prickly Marmoset. So we didn't top deck a swamp, but we do get to attack. We get to play a Garrison Cat, and we're just going to end our turn. Okay, that's a little unfortunate. Pass, no blocks. So we do have the choice. I think we are going to Divine Arrow right now, as we kind of want to spend our mana playing Yorion. It's a tough choice. Yeah, we're going to do that now. Okay, so we're one swamp off of doing a lot of really good things. So we're going to cycle. Hope to find... Okay, there's our swamp. So we're just going to attack. Yeah, it's kind of throwing it away. Oh, our opponent was scared. And we get to play the Commando for free. So I think we're in a pretty good position now that we have our value engine kind of assembled. That's fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to attack with the 1/1 token. There was always a chance they decided to take it. And then we get to play Yorion. And we get to blink it. And we get to make another 1/1 token. So if they don't have removal for Yorion, this can help hold up the sky. They do, and unfortunately, it's exile removal, the last thing we wanted to see. So let's think about what we can do here. I think we want to start setting up our Offspring's Revenge. So maybe we do just want to attack and kind of see. So if they attack and they block, which is these two, we trade this. I think if we had one more mana, this would be a much easier because we could double spell. I think as is, we're just going to play the Offspring's Revenge. And we're going to get back the Glider. And we'll just give it flying. And we'll just attack. And then if we top deck a land next turn, we can double spell, which would be nice. So now we can Pacifism and Fangs, which I think is what we're going to do. So we're going to move to combat. Let's see what he taps down. I wonder if our opponent has the ultimatum. Very ambitious mana base by our opponent. Yeah, we're going to attack with these two. Yep, get our 1/1. And we're just going to Pacifism that. So we're going to play the Bushmeat Poacher next turn. Maybe we should have gotten this down sooner. Oh, our opponent's highlighting. Oh. I felt like we had good removal, but our opponent just on it. So now we get to play our Bushmeat Poacher. We get back our cat, and hopefully we can bury our opponent in card advantage, now that we can start drawing a lot of cards here. That's fine. No attacks. Is our opponent going to go for an attack? Sure. So I think we're okay. Just trading this for that. And then not triple blocking here. Maybe we should. So if he has the +2 pump, we would take 8. And then we're almost dead to the glider next turn. And then this wouldn't kill it. So maybe. I wonder if he has the +2/+1 pump, then we're supposed to do this. So that this still dies. Yeah. Well, that is vigilance, actually. So we'll use that block. Okay. Oh, that's a good draw. Now that's a good draw. So I think what we're going to do right now is just weaponize the monsters and kill this flyer. Sack our cat. Attack for 2. And end our turn. So we're going to sack the commando and draw a card, which is why we attacked. It's a pretty good draw. And then we're going to kill this. Sack this. So we sack the commando, even though you can't get the draw trigger or the extra token here, just so that we would get value from Offspring's Revenge this turn. Right, no attacks. Play the Coil Bug. And end our turn. So we're just going to start pinging our opponent here. And hopefully we can end the game pretty quickly that way. Is this a May? No, it's not. So if we only have a Coil Bug in our graveyard, it will take the Coil Bug. Okay, that was a really good showing of what our deck should do. And that we kind of held on long enough, and then we were able to grind out value with all of our token generators and our outlets, sack outlet. So hopefully we can do that again. We'll see. Once again, I think I'm not playing this deck optimally. I've never played anything like this before, I will admit, so I may not be doing this 100%. But we'll see. See how this goes. So it's 1-1. It's also why I like best of 3. I feel like if your deck doesn't perform well, you kind of have a chance to see what it was actually doing. I am concerned that our opponent has the Mardu Ultimatum, the destroy all non-land permanents your opponent controls, because that would be pretty bad for us, considering our games tend to go long, and we're trying to grind out based on a couple enchantments we have. So we'll definitely see how that goes. Also, I think I might cut a land between rounds. 24 has seemed like a lot. That being said, we have mulliganed each game. We're not going to mulligan this time, though. We have one of our best cards. We have our Marshal. We have planes. We have removal. This feels like a good hand. Great hand. All we need to do is find a mountain, which we have 6 sources in the deck. Opponent's playing a Coil Bug. We have a 2-drop. This hand is coming together. Wow, our opponent using that very aggressively. Not sure if that feels right to me. I guess it was right, considering we top decked a Commando. But we'll play this Perimeter Sergeant. Yep. No blocks. You got it. Next turn we get to play a 3-3, which is just bigger, so there's no point in trading off our 3-2. If they want to keep attacking next turn, they're going to have to use some kind of trick or play a better creature here. That would qualify. So we could double spell, but I think just playing this Day Squad Marshal is better. No attacks. We are at risk of taking a lot of damage, but we're also, our opponent missed a land drop. So yeah, they're just going to attack for 2. So they're off of Blood Curdle mana right now, which is pretty good for us. So now I think what I want to do here is just attack with the, maybe I don't want to, I don't think I want to get greedy here. I think I'm just going to Yorion. Oh, and he has that removal there. Okay. Submit 0. So we didn't get any value out of Yorion, but he is a 4/5 flyer, which we got to play on turn 5, which is pretty big game. Our opponent's cycling, looking for that 4th land. Which they didn't find. We're sitting on both of our red cards right now, which is a little unfortunate. I think I'm going to attack all. Maybe I'll just attack Yorion, actually. And then we're going to double spell here. Next turn, we get to attack all. Okay. Blood Curdle. Yep, I can feel that Blood Curdle coming. Not attacking there. So we're going to Blood Curdle ourselves here. And put it on the Perimeter Sergeant. And just attack all. Except our cat, who doesn't get pumped. So he can choose to trade with the token. Right, yep. So he's not going to do that. So I'd say our opponent's in a pretty bad spot. Okay. So let's do some math here. If we attack out, that's 3, 5, 7, 10. He double blocks here. Then he takes 7. So yeah, he has the solo block. I guess our opponent was also doing the math. And then he was dead no matter what. With the +1/+1. Okay, so definitely not optimal play. But we got there. Think I'm gonna cut. Well, so here's the thing: if we cut something, or just putting in a Whisper Squad, that's not great. We could put in a second Spontaneous Flight, but I'm not sure we want that. So I guess playing a 24th land is probably right. But once again, I'm not sure. I'm not a 60-card deck master, so really not sure what you're supposed to be doing with that. But we'll see. We'll see. All right, game 2 versus TTT, something like that. Wow, we get to keep a hand. This is actually pretty decent. We're on the draw, so I don't feel too bad about not having our 3rd land. We just need to draw 1 land at the next 3 cards. We have a 2-drop, which attacks pretty well, so for our 3-drop. And even if it can't attack, we can just play the 1/3 flyer. Yeah, this is a good hand. We've got our red source. Oh, this hand is terrible. I would like to take back everything I've said. So I think I'm gonna play the checkpoint officer because I don't feel bad just trading that if I have to. He doesn't want to attack, it seems. Okay. Here, so I think I kind of want to play weaponize the monsters and just kill that checkpoint officer, that valiant rescuer, which feels really bad. That's our whole turn. But I don't want to start letting him get tokens. My other choice is just to play General's Enforcer. Actually, I'm going to play the Capador. It can block. It avoids most of red-white cycling's removal. Red-white cycling is definitely the boogeyman of this format, so I'm not entirely sure if we can win this. Especially not with our early removal. Yeah, so we're in a bad spot. I'll trade. Yep, I will immediately trade. I'll see what you have. Raking Claws. Okay. So, we're going to attack. And then we can play Night Squad Commando. We can play Weaponize the Monsters. So we're holding the Enforcer because if we can stall out this game, and then we can land the Enforcer and start exiling cycling cards, specifically cycling creatures is our best thing, so we get our token. We can make that Zenith Flare much less scary, which is our opponent's big finisher. Now, obviously, that requires that happens, but we'll see. So I'm not going to block here. That's an unfortunate draw. We're going to attack. And then we're probably going to play the Enforcer, and actually, we're going to attack like that. Yep, and just sack this token. So if he wants to cycle, yeah, he's going to get another 1/1. That's kind of unfortunate. But thanks. Now we get to play our Enforcer, who's a 2/3. Hopefully they don't have hard removal for the Enforcer. And we're probably done attacking for quite some time at this point. And we're gonna just start taking tokens, making tokens. Ooh, our opponent's got that Rumbling Rock Slide there. Okay, that's not a bad draw, because now we get to attack, and we get to play Yorion, and we get to blink, and we now have 4 blockers. Once we get our token back. Ooh. That's not the best for us. It doesn't change a lot, though, because it's still going to cost us 2 to destroy that. If we could just find another removal spell, we'd be in a really good spot. I'm hoping our opponent's suiciding. So we're going to attack. We just can't keep taking damage because you're constantly racing against the Zenith Flare. Okay. So, let's see. What do we do here? I think we keep the Caprador back. And then we're going to play just a glider with first strike. I think that's what we're doing. I actually don't think we can attack at all. We're going to play this with first strike. So that way, if our opponent attacks, we can block it and then sack our commando. Oh, that's really bad. We could just block them all and he only gets to kill 2 creatures. I think that's what we have to do here. Yeah, and he only gets to kill 2, and he doesn't get to kill both of these. Yeah, that's the play. Because it doesn't matter if I sack this. Well, if I sack this now and I attack and I kill a token, then these will still kill it. Yeah, we can actually. That's actually a fine play. So we're gonna kill a token. Submit 1, sack this. Then he still only gets to kill the Caprador. So that wasn't too bad. Let's think here. I think we're gonna play the Farfinder. Take an action. Get a planes. Play our planes. And then no attacks and turn. So we can block and sack our Farfinder to kill it if we have to, or we can always chump with the Farfinder. We're really just hoping our opponent doesn't have Zenith Flare. If they do, I'm not sure how we can win this. Assuming that he still has cycling cards. If he's flooding over there, then maybe we have a chance, but that's pretty much where we're at. And that's kind of what makes. So we're gonna block. We're not gonna do anything. We're gonna let damage go through. Our opponent's gonna play the Thundermane. That's fine. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna target that, submit 1, sack our Farfinder. We're gonna cycle this too, and draw a land, draw another land. So we're gonna play our Tiger, which is big enough to block the Thundermane. And if they have any removal for the Tiger, we still get to shoot the Thundermane. So that's good. Pass. So I assume they just have a cycling card and they're looking to trade. Yeah. If they had 2 cycling 1 cards, they could have just killed this. So I'm starting to wonder. And they didn't want to play. This is fine. Oh, see, that's now our opponent gets to refill. That's exactly the kind of thing we're not looking to see there. And we're just drawing lands. Yeah. This might be over at this point. We did a pretty good job of holding on as long as we could. But I guess it's also a question of what payoffs. Like I keep saying, if our opponent has the Zenith Flare, we're definitely dead. There's nothing we could do about that. So we're gonna Blood Curdle. They still get their 1 token, but that's not, 2. We're still drawing lands. Would like to stop doing that. We're at 6, 10, 11 lands in the top 21 cards. So that's a little unfortunate, I think. Garrison Cat does the job. Our best draw is probably our offspring reinforcement. Oh, okay. Our opponent themselves. Oh, I should have killed that in response. No, I shouldn't have. Okay. Um, so we're gonna block, and then we're gonna. So our opponent can just shoot back at our token. There's not a lot we can do to get around that. They might just choose to shoot us, though. No, they're gonna shoot the token. That's fine. I guess I could have shot them back. Day Squad Marshal's a good draw. This lets us even just block and then shoot with the token. So, yep, we're gonna... Oh, wait, nope. Target them. Sack it. So we won't take any damage from Flame Spill, as it won't have a legal target. They have a Splendor Mare. Another land. Block. Yep. So that's game. Not sure. I think we got unlucky there. We drew 6, 10, 11, 12, 13. So over half our lands in the top 25 cards. I think we got a little unlucky there. So what can we do here? There's not a lot. Red-white cycling is the boogeyman. Our deck isn't slow. I mean, we have a lot of early drops, so I like that. Unexpected Fangs is a good way to gain life. We didn't see the Zenith Flare, and they got to 5 cards left in library, so they might not have it, which makes me feel a lot better. These Blade Banishes are still good. Yeah, I guess we just run it back, and we hope to draw a little bit better of a ratio of spells to lands there. We'll play. This is keepable. We really need to find some planes, but I think having the Heartless Act... if our opponent just goes turn 2 Valiant Rescuer, and we get to hit it with a Heartless Act, that's big game. A lot of times with these cycling decks, if you can just kill like their first 1 or 2 payoffs, like if we could have, turn 2 killed Valiant Rescue, or turn 3 killed that cycling Snare Tactician, that probably would have been game. Yeah, so we're gonna just kill that, and we're gonna go search for a plains. So they're probably not going to attack unless they have removal. So we're just going to play Garrison Cat. Unfortunate that they also have this. Yeah, this is not the best for us. I think we're just going to Yorion here. A 4/5 flyer is kind of big, so it's a little bit hard for them to deal with. And assuming it survives, we get to start... we can hold up Fight as 1 as removal. It's going to get another plains. We have a lot of white cards in our hand. Even if our opponent has the Rumbling Rock Slide, I believe it is, they don't have enough. That smells like Divine Arrow. So we're just gonna block one. Okay. So we can play our planes. Next attack. And pass turn. So we have a lot of tricks up if they do decide to attack. Otherwise we just kind of have some things going here. Pass. So what we're gonna do is pass. We're gonna block. Block. Fight is one. Choose both. Another Valiant Rescuer. Okay. Play our Perimeter Sergeant and end turn. So, like I said, we used our one removal spell early on that Stinger. They have the Rock Slide. We're gonna give this +2/+2. We need to keep our Yorion alive. Okay, well, at least we kind of forced them to double spell. A 3/6 Vigilance here is actually really big game. So I think we're going to attack, and if he wants to use both of his tokens, that's fine. Although it does keep the tokens at bay, so we're not going to attack. Maybe we should just attack with our Farfinder. It has Vigilance. No. No attack. Really surprised he's not trying to use any of those. I guess he's just trying to go very wide, and then he probably has the Anthem effect, the Anthem Pump, the +2/+1. Okay. So next. Just attack with our 3/6, kind of see where that goes. So he doesn't have another cycling card at this exact moment. Pass. Get the blade, banish that. Pretty good for us. So I think we're gonna attack all. So we know our opponent doesn't have another cycling card, I'd say. And if we can kind of force him to make some bad trades here. So, Oh, he's going to triple block. Okay. Okay. Because what we want is we basically want him to have less tokens to deal with the Vantasaur. Yep. And then we get to play the Glider. He had another cycling card. Wow. And he didn't cycle last turn, so he... Interesting. I was not expecting that after he did not cycle at the end of last turn. Okay. He still has to attack to get your lifelink, so... That's something. That's not great. Oh. The cycling deck is a menace. Do I just attack again and then... hope he doesn't have anything. I think I do. Neither of these hitting Valiant Rescuer has been a bad time, I'd like to say. I can't even attack with the imposing Vantasaur anymore because he can just block, or if he cycles. Yep, can't do that. Hmm. Okay, the Caprador is not a bad draw. Especially, we made Divine Arrow our own Caprador. Okay, he's got the cycling. He's going wide. Well, we kind of need him to fizzle on a little bit of cycling for just a little bit of time. But that's pretty unlikely, I would say, at this rate. Yeah, we'll take 5, I guess. We're in a bad spot. Double Valiant Rescuer. It's so hard to deal with this because they don't enter combat, so you just have to have pointed removal. Just hope he didn't have cycling, and he doesn't top deck a cycler. And if his plan is to play a fish, what is it called? The Monster Hunter fish. Oh, I exiled the last one. Lava Serpent. We have another Blade Banish, but not exactly doing great here. Okay, so he cycled that instead of just casting it. Makes me feel like I'm probably dead. So pass. So we're just gonna block. And if our opponent has a cycling card, we lose. Yep, that's probably game, I'd say. Feel like we did the best we could, but red-white cycling is a menace. I love the deck, but especially when your opponent has these Valiant Rescuers, he never attacked with them. They literally were just, they could have been enchantments for all it mattered. Yep, so even if we pass, we'll block for what it's worth. And then we're dead. So that was, that was a little disappointing. But hopefully we can have a better round through here. Okay. In a deck that seems to be plagued by mulligans, We're gonna mulligan. I think we have to keep this, right? Like, our opponent's gonna go first. We do need to hit 2 lands, but then we have Farfinders, and we're gonna put back probably the Blitzleech. This is a very sketchy hand, but I don't think going down to 5 is the answer. I think having the Farfinder means that if we can find our second and third lands in the top, 4 cards even, we have a chance. Okay, that's good. One more land. We just need one more. One more land, not our 1-tap land. We got 22 lands left in the deck. I said what I said. Well, next turn we get to play Farfinder, get a Plains. That's a thing. And then if we can find another land, we at least have Yorion coming up soon. Our opponents on Temur, they're not doing anything too scary yet, but they are ramping up to being scary. Okay, so we're going to play our Farfinder. Take action, get a Plains. Play our Plains, and end our turn. Yeah, that's not great for us, is it? Resolves. Yep. Take 3. Okay, that's pretty good. So, I think I might just Yorion to untap the Pathfinder, Farfinder, and get us another land. Our other choice is playing the Caprador and putting a +1/+1 counter on it as like our 2 plays, or just this. Actually, yeah, I think that's fine. We'll play the Caprador. And we have Will of the All Hunter on it, and we can possibly get it, some counters. Our opponent does seem to be stuck a little bit on land, even though they have perfect mana. And they didn't have a 4-drop last turn, or at least they didn't value playing a 4-drop, I should say. Okay, they have the Migratory Greathorn. That's fine. They don't get a spell back, because they don't have one. And so I think what we're going to do is we're going to block. And we're just going to give this 2 counters. Right, and then now we can attack. And play Yorion. Get another Plains. And I think this is fine. Now we have 2 kind of like flying threats. So they want to be spending their time answering us instead of building their board, which gives us a little bit of a tempo advantage. Maybe not tempo, but we're setting the pace of the game right now. So we're saying, hey, we have 7, flying in the air. What are you going to do about that? And so they're going to make 2 flyers. That's good, but it doesn't really. Their flyers don't profitably block ours. These bounce and then they're chumping. So we can play our Plains. We don't have any creatures to go get yet. And we can just attack with these. Yep, we're going to attack. And our opponent's just going to take it. That's pretty interesting. We're going to play Garrison Cat. And I'm going to hold up this Blade Banish. I feel like our opponent might be doing something a little tricky here. I would not be surprised to see our opponent mutate a shark onto this, or some other large creature, Asterix. Because they chose not even to block here and, have our creatures bounce. Our opponent could also just be getting aggressive, and they're going to attempt to pump with the Wingspan Mentor, which is fine. That's 3 of their 4 mana, so the best they could do after that is play like a 2-drop creature. And if they do that, we get to Blade Banish this anyways, so that's fine. They're going to cycle. Okay. Probably give the 2/2 trample. Okay. Wasn't expecting that. So we're probably going to block no matter what with this Garrison Cat, just so we have something for Offspring's Revenge, because right now we don't. Okay, so he's going to pump. Yep. Pass. Interesting. Okay, so let's Blade Banish this. And then it doesn't matter which of these we block. So we're just going to block here. It doesn't matter. We're taking 1 less because this is trample. And we're saving our fight as 1 for our opponent's removal, hopefully. In case they have something to kill our Yorion or our Stormwind Caprador. So we're just going to play Offspring's Revenge. Next. Get our cat back. And we're just going to attack with our 2 flyers. And we're going to Unexpected Fangs here. Clears their board. We gain 4. And our opponent really needs to have some kind of non-damage removal spell here. So like the Rumbling Rock Slide won't do it. So they really need something like a Capture Sphere. Ram Through doesn't do it on the green side. Charge of the Forever Beast won't do it. They have to have Capture Sphere is pretty much it. Okay. Or they can do that to that one, but that still leaves us with a 4/6 lifelink flyer, which we're perfectly fine with. And now that we have Offspring's Revenge, we can even just flicker our Farfinder again, which is great for us. No blocks. We'll take 2. That's fine. So we're just going to attack. Get back Yorion. So 1/1 flyer. Did we have lethal if I did flicker? I think we have lethal now because I have this, but we had lethal no matter what. We had lethal quite a few ways. I was not paying attention to that. Like I said, not playing my best with this deck. It's pretty unique to me. I don't normally like these Yorion Companions. I've only done it 1 other time, and it was a mess. The one good thing is you don't really get the sideboard since you're playing almost all of your playables. So we'll see how this goes. I think we can definitely pull out a win here, which I'll be pretty happy with this deck. I think we had a good showing against the cycling deck. Just a little bit of bad timing there. Okay, so here we go. Game 2, round 3. This is for the 2/1. Hopefully we can win here. Our opponent's deciding whether they want to play or draw. Okay. Wow, we see our Sanctuary locked down. We see the Sanctuary locked down for the first time, and we don't have any of our humans. That's unfortunate. We're going to keep, though, because we do have the Glider as our 3-drop. And I think that's good enough against what we saw from our opponent. The scariest thing they seem to be doing is like a turn 2, Glimmerbell into a turn 3 Great Horn. Oh, our opponent went down to 5. That's unfortunate for them. Hopefully this is still a good match, you know? Hey, our opponent's probably deciding what to put back. I can't imagine they're going to go to 4. That feels like a nail in the coffin. Okay, they went to 5. Much worse on the play, too. Unfortunately for them. Okay, they played that Glimmer Bell. Hopefully they're not going to play the Great Horn on 3 for us. But, you know, we'll play our Triome. It's our tap land. Now we have mana for Obosh. We have mana for Yorion with that. Okay. And we're just going to play a Glider. We are going to give it Flying. And I will block if they attack. Because they've got to have tricks, and we want to see them. And we still have Divine Arrow as like a removal spell later. Okay, we're not going to block. I would like to take that back. I made some poor decisions. And we're not going to block. But next turn, we can Divine Arrow that, since we don't have a great turn 3 play right now. All we have is our Sanctuary Lockdown with 0 humans. Okay, so we're going to play our Plains. Our opponent's tapped out, so no big reason. We're going to Unexpected Fangs here. And just attack. What do you pitch? The Menace card, okay. Okay, giving the creature trample. So unlike previous iterations, also important to note, of Divine Arrow like cards, this does it to attacking or blocking creatures, not tapped. So even if he untaps it with the Glimmer Bell, it will still take the 4 damage. So if we top deck a land, we get to slam Obosh, which is pretty great, and then hit our opponent for 6. Yep, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We'll play Obosh. We will attack for 6. And we have lethal on board. The Brushwaggy. Brush. Let's see. Oh, it's going to attack again. Our opponent can jump if they want. Play Yorion. Untap Obosh. And I'd say this game's pretty much over. Unfortunate, our opponent mulliganed to 5. Opponent's still dead, but that's kind of cool. So we're just gonna attack. So this removes all the counters. And there we go. 2-1. I think this could have been a 3-0 deck. I think, you know, playing against that red-white cycling, we did our best to hold on. Both matches against the red-white cycling deck were very competitive, I would say. But it just is what it is. When they get going, they get going. And so I think this was a pretty good deck. I think we all together, going to Yorion Companion was the right move. We didn't have too many problems with our mana. The one game we really got to go weaponize the monsters with Offspring's Revenge. The deck went off. So I'm pretty happy with it. So I'll see you again at the next draft every Thursday and Sunday. And don't forget to like and subscribe.